Vikings back home against the Commanders. Can they get it done? Let's find out. Happy Thursday. It is almost the weekend. It's almost, if you're a college football fan, it is almost conference championship weekend. And, of course, Vikings with another chance to surprise us or disappoint us come Sunday. Yes, what you got?
This is going to be the stupidest question, but who's in the conference championship?
Well, it's for every conference, so it's all of them.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking just Big Ten? Or?
Oh, no, I thought you were saying
no.
The tournaments was starting.
No. The playoff doesn't start for another couple weeks. It's just the college. It's like just
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course, I know all that.
But I mean, Ohio State, Indiana is going to be kind of a fun one to watch. But anyway, Vikings do have another game coming up against the Commanders that they did. We'll talk about it later with some injuries. They did get some good news. Sounds like they will get Jaden Daniels back. But no matter what, with the way this whole thing's structured, I really don't care about that. Right? Because look, we've played that type of quarterback so far this year. We played Lamar Jackson, who I think is probably the top version of that type of quarterback. We played Jaden Daniels, who isn't the greatest passer of the ball, but still he's able to do things with his legs. And of course, Caleb Williams. So defensively, I'm not worried about that. And you can see from the title of this could very well be that get-right game for the Minnesota Vikings offense. And, of course, with all the talk this week, Kevin O'Connell, JJ McCarthy himself today, and I get this. It's Kevin O'Connell. I know people are going to harp on it. I get it. He says a lot of things, and they're not always accurate when it comes to the game time. But I will say this last week is probably the most harsh and critical I've heard him talk about himself, really being more specific with things. And then just the talk from him and McCarthy this week about simplifying things and just letting McCarthy go out and play football, which is something that you and I have been talking about for the last couple of weeks here. And that's really what we need to do here, because just going into next season, the mechanic stuff, that's going to have to wait for the offseason. He can't be working on that and putting brain power towards that mid game. And as they both said, he just has to go out there, play football, get confident again. And what better way to do that against one of the worst defenses in football? So I don't know. I'm kind of excited about this one. I'm ready to have my heart broken again. Just one more time by O'Connell. It might be lied to one more time because I believe in this one. I'm believing that he's just going to, him and McCarthy, the plan is just go out there, play football, execute, and just get your confidence back. And again, this is the best opportunity to do that against a defense that ranks near the bottom in pretty much every statistical category.
Yeah, dude. This is a big one as far as all of that goes. And you're right. Like everything Kevin O'Connell, it's like as soon as I'm sure some people are just completely out on McCarthy, but as far as us people who were supporting him throughout this whole thing, and then like you want him to be good, all those kinds of things, and then it's like what can be said or whatever to like kind of like let us hop on the train to be excited to see JJ McCarthy another week. And I think Kevin O'Connell and JJ McCarthy both came out and what they said kind of does that for me as far as like, because you're just like, because that's everything's been around is just fundamentals this year, like him learning fundamentals on the fly during the season. And I know earlier on in the season, me and you were like, you just need to let him play his game. This is before we even knew about the fundamental thing, but it was still like, he needs to go play his game. You can't overthink whatever. These last two games against the Packers and the Bears, it was obvious there's overthinking. Even for himself, it felt like, that's one thing I didn't think you were going to lose out of him was his confidence or whatever. So I'm really glad they're talking about just let this kid go out there and play football or whatever. So it brings a little bit spark back in mine and yours.
Yeah, but this is it. Like Kevin O'Connell has told us things before, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, we have to see it.
But I'd be lying if it didn't like bring a little bit of extra hope. Like what if JJ McCarthy comes out here? Yes, he probably is going to miss some throws, all that kind of thing, but come out here and just use his legs and I don't know, some of the little bit of flashes that we saw earlier on, not what we saw in that Packers game against, like you said, arguably, if not like probably the worst pass defense in the NFL right now. And so this is this is a chance to get right. This is a chance for JJ McCarthy to have an opportunity to, kind of bounce back from everything that happened, but it's also an opportunity for an absolutely new low. And that's what we don't want to see, right? Because we're going in this game with, and on top of that is the fact that we there's that little bit of extra hope now, because you're like, well, what if JJ McCarthy, the problem was that it was just him overthinking because he had to learn fundamentals on the fly. So there's that little bit of hope, but that's the thing. If he comes out here and has a terrible game, oh yeah, we're already nice. You're already putting it to the JJ McCarthy topic. If he comes out here and has a bad game, if he has a bad game and the offense sucks, because they're arguably the worst defense, not just pass defense, but they're probably the worst pass defense. So if things go wrong here, I think you're seeing a new low. If you come out here, there's 3 interceptions, we're not moving the ball, we're not scoring any touchdowns. I think at that point you're looking at now you're like, oh man, we're really in trouble, I guess.
And I'm sorry, I can't get behind the sentiment. I honestly can't believe that people would rather just this team sucks so everybody goes and hope good things happen. I can't get behind that. If that's
I'm not even on the Kevin. I'm not on the Kevin O'Connell.
I just can't. I don't get this thought process at all. Like, I would rather see, hey, this thing's gonna work out. We have the right people in place. We're gonna go win now. I just don't.
Well, mostly
I don't understand that. I would rather just see us suck and blow it up.
Mostly because I guarantee you, we will change everything, and there's a great chance they're fucking worse than better.
Right. Which some people,
and then it's just going to be the same thing.
Start over thing.
So I think I prefer the guys that we have right now to I guess with Kevin O'Connell, like, be better. Like, the best case scenario is for this team to bounce back and Kevin O'Connell and figures out the JJ McCarthy thing to some extent. Maybe it was the fundamental thing or whatever. That's best case scenario, is that we finish the season strong, because if we have a fire sale and we fire people and we have like a rebuild, we are going to be set back way longer than people think. Because I'll say it a million times, you should want whatever we can to make this team competitive the next 2 years, in my opinion. But there's no chance that this coach staff is worse than the current one. Yeah, stop. I don't believe that at all. How can you possibly think Kevin O'Connell is that bad? I don't get it. I get it. There's parts to I get why the criticism now, but he has shown enough good, in my opinion, where, like you've said it before, if he gets fired, he's number one coach. He's number one coach. Not even just that. Everybody talks about how a GM, if we were to fire Kwesi and brought in a new GM, and a GM wants his own head coach under him or whatever, I don't even think that. I think Kevin O'Connell is highly thought of, and from other front offices and everything outside of some of our Viking fans, that a GM, that Kevin O'Connell will literally be a selling point to a GM. That's what I think. Even if you don't believe that, even if I personally think that Kevin O'Connell hasn't had his best season, and he hasn't really done the best thing for the quarterbacks, whatever. But most of the front offices and most other people who definitely know what they're talking about feel really highly of Kevin O'Connell. So I don't know. So I just disagree. I don't think you have one guy come in, have one bad. He deserves more than like a single bad season. There's other guys. Mike Shanahan made it to the Super Bowl. Has had some good seasons, has had some bad seasons, still on the 49ers. Nobody's firing him. So I don't know. I don't agree when it comes to. Yeah, they're over it to losing. Yeah. This is just like, this is a coach of the year. Let's fire him right away. Let's fire him. 10 games into the season or whatever, fire. And then we're going to get someone else. It can't be any worse. What are you talking about? This guy's won almost 2-1 in his whole career as head coach. And you think you can't get worse than that? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, my hope is that we just see improvement from the quarterback. Because if the quarterback improves, the offense will improve, and that'll just bring things at least to a brighter light, more confidence in this front office coaching staff roster going into next season.
You know I love you, T-Bass.
Work on the fundamentals, move forward is what it is at that point. But a big thing about this is just the defense we're playing this weekend, right? Because it ain't great, and we'll go through some of the stats here.
Give me 1 second, real quick. I just want to do some shout outs here. Our guy Gary in here right away. Sup, SKOL mates. What up, dude? Big Raylan in the building. Gary, let's go, Big Raylan. Angel Dust Senior. Cheers, fellas. Welcome in. Aiden, Chris, who you got, the Bears or the Packers? Obviously, we prefer the Bears, but I do think the Bears. I think personally the Bears are somewhat frauds, but whatever. T-Bass, obviously, we already hit on you a little bit, but don't believe anything in this team. There you go. Perfect T-Bass tweet right there, or T-Bass comment. Adam in the building. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, my guy? Let's go, Adam. Take Hubler. Welcome in, dude. Use legs equals shattered glass 9.
Well, but that was also a point of the conversation, too, is O'Connell basically telling him, like, you just got to be better about keeping yourself protected when you do decide to move out of the pocket on the field.
Right.
Because, I mean, I think a lot of that does go hand in hand. Because if he just plays his game, it does mean he's going to be moving more, probably.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what he's saying. Like, just go out there, play football. But if you do decide to get out of the pocket, you gotta duck some hits.
Yep. What up, Bob Swede? Welcome in. Vikings Jerome, JJ McCarthy, Young needs years of seasoning. He definitely does. Obviously, I don't know if we have that much time, so I'm still on team. Hopefully we see progress in him and all that good stuff. But I hit you up. Can't be worse than the frauds in place now. Yeah. See,
opinion. We disagree, but I respect you.
I can agree. We can disagree. Dan Henneman in the building. Skol, everyone. Let's go. 0-2 in playoffs. That's the only thing. I don't know. He's a young coach. I don't know. There's a lot of head coaches that stick along.
And he's gone through just like multiple iterations of this roster too.
Right. Every other year, literally. Well, this year I would say this one's a little worse because he didn't have the injury thing. I don't know. I can't, like, it's so easy to be like, oh, he's bad, fire him. Like, I don't know. T-Bass has always been on fire, Kevin O'Connell. So that's fair.
Because because of the mindset thing. Like, we don't have the old school coach anymore, the tough.
Yeah.
Old school.
Which is crazy because everyone's calling Kevin O'Connell arrogant, and I'm like, bro, I get like with the play calling and all that kind of stuff. I get you can say that, but that dude is not arrogant at all. He's probably one of the most least arrogant coaches I've seen, based on just straight up how he handles business. The players like him. There's not one single player coming off as like, this guy, our head coach, is like this arrogant guy who thinks he's better than everybody and things like that.
I mean, but anyway, I mean, I guess he's looking forward to this game because this is a conversation we'll have 20 times before the season even ends at this point. Because
I need to stick up to. That's
what we do here. Instead of looking forward and trying to hope things get better, we just shit talk and
we
live in misery
fired right away.
Vikings fans or alcoholics or something. I don't know. But anyway, this is a big. But here's reason for hope, right? This defense is god awful, right? So first off, total defense, they are ranking near the bottom. 31st in the league, allowing 388 yards per game in total defense, 36 touchdowns. In passing defense, they are second worst in the league as well, 254 yards per game to quarterback. So that right there, big reason why JJ McCarthy could get back on track here. Rushing defense, 27th in the league, allowing 133 points per game. So in all the major metrics of and that's the thing, it's like this offense hasn't scored points in weeks. We know that, but a big part of that is just being efficient and being able to pick up yards and move the football. If you want to get your quarterback's head out of his ass and back on track going forward, perfect defense to do this against. The big three statistical metrics that you're looking at here, just moving the ball on offense, they're not that great against. And yes, and they have Bobby Wagner. I get that. They have Von Miller. Sure. They have some talent on that defense, but they've been one of the worst defenses in the league. And if there's any way that McCarthy gets back on track, it's got to be this week against this defense.
Yeah. And yeah, like you said, I mean, they allow the second most passing yards in the NFL. I'm pretty sure. I think they allow the most passing yards per attempt, though, on top of that. So it hasn't been good, and the run defense hasn't been good either. I think they're the bottom 6, or they're like they allow. Is that what we came up with? 6 most rushing yards. So this is just a bad defense overall. But for JJ McCarthy, and they don't have Bobby Wagner, I believe. I haven't seen the injury report. You're going to go into it in a little bit here today, but he was on there, did not participate at least yesterday. If he doesn't play or whatever, like this isn't a suit. And Von Miller, I think he had a rest day. But Von Miller, obviously older, like their pass rush isn't great either. So this is a game where not just JJ McCarthy, but the offensive line needs to step up and block for him. But JJ McCarthy should have plenty of time. He should find Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison open. He should have all the opportunities to succeed here. So that's what we'll find out in this one. And it's going to be big. And like I said earlier, it is going to be kind of a game where it's like a get-right game, a game where, hopefully you see JJ McCarthy arguably have his best statistical game, because that's a reality. And I'm not making excuses for him because, what he did in the Packers game, it made his lack of confidence, made me a lack of confidence in him. But to be honest, at the same time, he's played some rough defenses and some rough pass rushes and all those kinds of things. And this is kind of the first game where he has like a real vanilla defense this entire year. So it'll be interesting to see what we do against him or against them and JJ McCarthy. So that's why it's one of those things where it's like, this is a chance to get right, but it is also an opportunity to really find out how bad things are.
Right.
And hopefully I'm on the side of not wanting that to happen, but
for sure. Absolutely. But I guess anything else before we move on to injury report?
Just back to the coaching stuff real quick, give me 1 second here. I do agree. Like there's a level of arrogance to be a coach that won't help his quarterback, whatever. Kevin O'Connell did. So we'll see. It's also halfway through a season, the first year with Kevin O'Connell with a developmental quarterback, 2 young quarterbacks, picking Carson Wentz, whatever. You can put some blame on him, how that rolled out. But it's fair to let anybody to do anything, at least a little bit of leeway to figure things out. And hopefully we see that with Kevin O'Connell. And what Casey's mentioned before is hopefully he says these things and we see it on the field and just lets JJ McCarthy play ball, because if he goes out there and does that, that'd be a sign of him deciding to change things. And I do think that play calling, whatever, not everybody in the world thinks he's bad at play calling. So I don't know how he feels that, but I don't know. That's one little side of him being arrogant, I guess. But I think overall as a person, Kevin O'Connell doesn't come off as arrogant to me, in my opinion.
I guess first off season, getting into the league, second off season, coming back from a knee injury. So it's tough to really, it's basically, do I trust my knee enough to even play football this year?
Right.
First off.
And this is kind of how it works. This is how I look at this. JJ McCarthy gets drafted end of April 2024, has 3 months before August. He has 3 months. Kevin O'Connell sees him. I'm changing your fundamentals. He has 3 months to get that figured out in August. I don't care what you guys start. I don't care if it's podcasting. I don't care what it is. You are not going to get good at something or fix something in 3 months. And then he gets injured for an entire.
It takes 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, it can. And he was injured for an entire year. Yeah, 4 to 5 years like us. He can be injured into a see, I didn't catch what you're doing there. He was injured for an entire year, and then he had about 4 months before the season started which is Kevin O'Connell's fault. I'm against him on the preseason thing, not getting reps there. But so he has 7 months before the season started of actually changing his I'm telling you, 7 months in a row isn't enough, in my opinion. But he had 3 months, year off. That might as well just be a wash. And 4 months to change all his fundamentals, 22-year-old kid. I'm not saying that he's going to figure it out and he's going to be good, but I'm also saying I don't think that's enough time to change your fundamentals. And I do think that if there's fixing issues, it's hard to do that. Like his knee, like the fact that nobody brings up he was hurt for a whole year and wanted to just use it excuse. I'm like, this is a 22-year-old kid who was hurt for a full year. I don't know. Like, it's a good excuse. It's a good excuse as far as why his fundamentals aren't where they should be right now. Doesn't mean that he'll figure it out, whatever. So JJ should show him, hopefully, but I don't know if Drake May had to change all his fundamentals as well. I don't know. But especially if Kevin O'Connell, that's the thing too, on top of this, and we'll see what happens with JJ McCarthy. But that's the difference too, is at this point, Kevin O'Connell said, we'll wait till the offseason to focus on the fundamentals again. We're going to go out there and let you just play football. So at the same time, we might see a better version of JJ McCarthy just because he's just going out there and playing his game. Which is a little concerning to me because I also am a little bit worried. Like once you change someone's fundamentals, I don't know if it's that easy just to go back to what you used to do. But at the same time, that obviously, like you're not going to see, like if we do see we might see progress in his play, maybe his accuracy, but I don't know if we'll see progress in his actual fundamentals at the end of this year. I don't know.
I mean, and no one's calling him Drake May. I mean, someone brought up the comparisons. We answered it. No one's calling him Drake May, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. No, I don't even know. I don't know if he'll ever figure out the fundamentals. No. Like I said before, but I also am not the one sitting here saying that it's impossible after 7 months total, including a year off, is in between that seems very unfair to act like kid should completely turn around his fundamentals. Because there's nothing I've ever done that I've just figured out in even 7 months.
Yeah, I mean, or this one. Have you never learned something at a young age, and 10 years later you learn a different way to do it, and you're like, oh yeah, that does make more sense, and that does make this easier.
And then you have to work.
That stuff happens in real life and in football.
Right.
So
and it's really tough to, someone's playing football their entire life one way, and all of a sudden you're telling someone they have to do everything different. Like that's literally, even though whether JJ McCarthy should have said it, but the neuropathical, whatever he said, that's like a real thing. Like what JJ McCarthy said is true. He probably just shouldn't have said it, because it's probably good to just leave that stuff. Took me 10 years by drivers. Yeah. Just wait one more year and you won't probably, if it's me.
Next time you go out after you think you got it, you don't.
Right. Well, that's another thing. Even golf swings, like you go and I don't know if I'm not a huge, or I love golfing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a professional golfer, but even for me, like I have changed up my swing, and when I change up my swing, it doesn't automatically get fixed. People change times it kind of gets worse.
People change their swings constantly. Like people change their swings 10 years into their golf career,
right?
Because they realize, well, I can't do it this way anymore if I want to be successful, so I got to change. Right. So like
it's a process to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know, and that's just that's kind of an excuse. But I would just say, again, one more time, and then we can move on, is just when it comes to JJ McCarthy, in my opinion, I don't know for sure if he's ever going to figure it out. But one thing for sure I do know is I don't think he got enough time to figure out his fundamentals.
And that is one thing. And that's just, again, like, was he overdrafted? Probably. Should he have been the number 10 overall pick? Probably not. But that is one thing that happens with quarterbacks in general, right? I mean, look at and that's the thing. And that's why the quarterback position is so tough, because you pick one in the first round and they're expected to start right away. Look at Anthony Richardson. Right. Like, no chance that guy should have been a number 3 pick, because number 3 pick means you're starting week 1. And he needed a year or 2 of seasoning to get his fundamentals down. Never did it. Now he's out of the league, right? So it's a delicate situation handling quarterbacks. All right, I said the 6'7" thing, but it's just 6'7". I don't know. It's just the quarterback position is just one of those where it's tough. Like
Yep. Yeah. And
like quarterback overdrafted constantly.
And you can argue like maybe JJ McCarthy shouldn't have been a top 10 pick if Kevin O'Connell literally has to completely change his fundamentals. I don't know. Unless, I mean, we'll find out, but I think that's fair, because I don't think you bring in a quarterback in and need to completely change his whole game. But I definitely think it hurt that he had that injury. I'm taking the
Cowboys. I'm taking Cowboys on the road.
It sucks because obviously Viking fans, we don't usually like the Eagles or the Cowboys. But obviously, and before, honestly, there's a time where I like them least than the Lions, but obviously we all know, we talk about arrogance. We know how the Lions fans are now. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. Their offense is hot. But it's going to be a good game. So if anyone's out there betting on sports, I'm not a professional, but take the overs in this one.
Big Thursday night win on the road in Detroit. Puff your chest out. You got the lowly Vikings coming in Sunday Night Football next Sunday. We go in there with some ass. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get their confidence sky high against the Lions.
And speaking of that, just on top of what we've said about this defense, because if we see something good about JJ McCarthy, that's the thing, is this is the 3-game stretch where we're against 3 of the top 5 worst pass defenses in the NFL in a row. Maybe not completely easy games, but bad pass defense. So if there's a stretch to kind of bring some momentum, obviously playoffs are basically gone. But as far as just extra hope going into the season, if you want that extra hope, or you just want everyone to get fired and a complete rebuild or whatever.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I take the positive side of things because I'm still young, spry.
Well, I just want the Vikings to try to win
in the world. So that's why I'm hoping everything turns out. We have our quarterback. We have our coach. We have the best receiver in the world. Dallas Turner's coming around. That defense is going to step up. We have the best kicker in football. Life is going to be okay. But I guess my last thing on McCarthy. So look, and the reason that we have this hope, me and you at least have this hope back, is because of what's been said. And we've heard things been said before. Words don't matter. You hope the words come into action. Really, all that matters is that the stuff that Kevin O'Connell and JJ McCarthy are saying this week happens this Sunday on the field. Yep. And like you say in the title, if you can't figure it out against his defense and put up some yards, put up some points, then I totally understand Vikings fans crashing out the rest of the season into the offseason.
This one's going to be a tough one.
Fired and all that type of stuff goes down. So I get it. But it all just comes down to, we've heard you talk enough. Now we just have to see it in action. And there's no better chance to do that than against one of the worst defenses in football at home.
Yeah. Yeah, that and then again, or it's just like you said, like otherwise things could be really crashing down or noodles.
Shut up! Stop! Don't say that.
Yeah, no. JJ McCarthy, and that's another thing too. Is I think ultimately me and you believe in JJ McCarthy, but I think both of us can also say that confidence has came down to as well. So I'm not like I can't confidently say at this point. I wish I could.
Believe in JJ McCarthy because he's a damn quarterback, and I have to.
But I have to. But I believe like if he goes on, that's why I'm like that gives me a little ounce of hope that the fact that go out there, let him play his game or whatever. So I'm hoping that we see even though he wasn't the most accurate, I'm still hoping that we see the JJ McCarthy we saw even earlier in the season, where at the very least he's just going out there, escaping the pocket, using his legs, throwing on the run, even if they're not the best passes. I don't know. I still want a game where he doesn't get a turnover, but at the same time, I'm like, I'd rather see that than in non-confident football playing from your quarterback that you want to be.
Give me Detroit JJ McCarthy. If we get Detroit JJ McCarthy, I'll be happy. Yeah, it's only 150 yards, but he threw confidently that game. So give me that guy. But there are other players on both of these teams, and who's playing, who's not. Injury report today. The Vikings has been pretty lengthy all week long, but it does sound like things are getting a little bit better. A lot of guys upgrading in practice participation. Christian Darrisaw, top of the list. Same thing as always. Full participation Wednesday, no Thursday. 2 straight days DNP for Levi Drake Rodriguez. Feels like he's going to be a long shot to play. Jonathan Gennard, limited participation both days. Kind of the same trek they had him on last week. Donovan Jackson upgraded from did not participate to limited. That's huge. Theo Jackson downgraded from full to limited. Aaron Jones, Josh Metellus, both guys who have been limited all week long. Going back to those injuries they had late last week. Jonathan Allen, not injury related, just a rest day up there. Blake Brandel looks like he's going to make it back on the field. Well, Ty Chandler's practice window has been opened, so sounds like he'll be back in the fold this week. Then other than that, Javon Hargrave, Ryan Kelly, JJ McCarthy, Jalen Redmond, and of course Harrison Smith, all full participation.
How about on the opposite side of the ball?
And that's the big one. I mean, the first one, I guess, okay, they're not gonna start with the exciting one. Drake Jackson, a guy they have coming off of injured reserve as well.
Bobby Wagner
opened his practice window opened. Bobby Wagner, you are right. 2 straight days, DNP. We'll see what happens there. I mean, obviously, long time, really, really good linebacker. Lost a step, sure, but he's still solid. Noah Brown, a wide receiver, also coming back. This is the big one. Jaden Daniels from limited to full participation. We all saw the ugly elbow injury.
That's crazy.
So it sounds like he's going to play. We get that 2024 quarterback draft matchup here that we were expecting when the season started. And again, we've played Lamar Jackson. We've played Jalen Hurts. We've played Caleb Williams. We've played these type of quarterbacks all year long. And Lamar Jackson, I would say, of that style of quarterback play is top of the board that we played this year, top of the board in the league. So we played against that type of guy. I expect Flores have a good plan there. Javon Kinlaw up from DNP to full participation, and then a couple other guys full participation. No injuries for the rest of these guys: Laramie Tunsil, Von Miller, as well as Zach Ertz. So they will all be playing from the sounds of it there. So that's what we got going on from the Vikings perspective. It sounds like, I would guess, the only player who's going to be ruled out right away will be LDR. I'm sure a couple other guys will go in with overall.
Let's go, my guy. Let's get
pretty clean on the injury front.
Appreciate you guys popping in.
It's a big list, but overall, I feel pretty confident that a lot of the guys.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, good news. Obviously, yeah. I don't know. This game is starting to come around as like one that from an offensive standpoint, we should see it probably our best game since that Cincinnati game.
And we have to. It has to be.
It has to happen, yeah.
There's no fans or buts anymore. It has to be the best game that we've seen. This offense has to move
offensively, which isn't saying a lot outside of the Cincinnati bag. Yeah, outside of the Cincinnati game. All right. Yeah, anyways. What's that? Because that
Cincinnati game was
that
was dumb. Anyway.
Anyways, let's get into our keys to victory in this game. Yes. You are against a bad defense, and our offense should do something. Our defense has been stepping up. I am worried of the fire that is there because obviously, I mean, how much work do you want to continue to do and keep fired up if your offense isn't really helping you enough? But so this is a game our offense should step up. Defense, obviously, if Jaden Daniels playing, this is a big upgrade in my opinion compared to Marcus Mariota, especially on the ground. as well as McLaurin came back last week, had almost 100 yards. Debo continues to be a big part of that offense. And then, of course, like our Achilles heel this year are mid-level running backs and Bill Krosky Merritt, right?
Then they got
and
Nichols.
And Nichols. Yeah. So that's our Achilles heels is these mid-tier running backs. So we do have to watch that in this game and not sleep on that. So I do think this is a game that should be easier, but you might have an offense that we do have to worry about in this one a little bit, I think. And not
and like you said, they're getting healthier as well. But I guess the big thing though for defensive game planning is you do have two quarterbacks who play the position similarly. So I mean, obviously, Jaden Daniels is head and shoulders above what Marcus Mariota ended up being in his career. But I mean, they're similar type of quarterbacks. At least the defensive game planning, no matter who plays, wouldn't be that much different.
Right. And we'll get into that.
I mean,
in a second here. But let's start with number 5, and this one should be obvious, and it's obvious from a play call standpoint. Shame on Kevin O'Connell, and from a make a player happy standpoint, and that is get Jets involved early and often. There is zero reason why he doesn't touch the ball until the third quarter last week. And I've said this on Bleacher Report, but I don't care if he's the quarterback. I don't care what it is. This guy should be touching the football no matter what. Early, first play of the game. I don't care if it's a sweep, whatever it is. He needs to touch the ball, and not just from play call standpoint, but I know we all, well, not everybody's. I'm sure some people want him traded or whatever, but I know a lot of us want to make sure we keep this guy happy. Even though I don't know if you caught it. Let me know if you did. I didn't catch. I was gone, so I didn't get to see Justin Jefferson's press conference today. Did you get to catch that by any chance?
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
okay. Let me know what he said on that you took away from that as well. Just Justin Jefferson in general.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same stuff. It's just said he was frustrated after the game. He's like, why would I just kind of felt like I didn't want to, the emotions were high. I didn't want to stand up there in front of you guys and basically just say the same stuff that I had been saying for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Basically it's like, hey, we got to have patience. I mean, it's a down year. Brighter times are ahead. I mean, I still trust McCarthy. Just got to tell him play his game, to listen to the noise. Kind of saying all the stuff he's been saying, but I don't know. He's still a leader of this team. I still feel like he has the confidence. But eventually we got to start proving him right here. And we got to start.
Right.
And again, because last week you could tell he was checked out.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I think you would be too if you went out there and your quarterback was Max Brosmer, a guy who I said, love Max Brosmer. I think he has a long career ahead of him being a backup quarterback in this league. Probably should not have been starting that week, obviously.
Even though we all were hopeful and excited, though. That's reality.
I get his frustrations last week, but I definitely do feel like, I mean, I feel like he's still being the leader that he is. He's still coming out with a smile in his press conference today. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, you got to get the guy the ball. Because he brings so much energy to this team.
Right. And you got to love that him and Aaron Jones. We know Aaron Jones is a big McCarthy supporter, but something that they said earlier, I think it was earlier in the week, or it was last week, just saying that they pretty much acted like JJ McCarthy is going to prove people wrong type of thing. So it's good to hear that from some of your, especially like Aaron Jones is a straight vet, and obviously Justin Jefferson, the best player on your team since he's been in the league. So big stuff there. Hopefully, but that's one part of it is that can go away real quickly if he doesn't see the ball. Anyways, going to number 4 and our defense against their offense, and that's contain Washington's quarterbacks. We said this, whether it's Daniels or Mariota. What is your thoughts on just that? Or you can even throw out just defense in general, but it kind of starts with containing these quarterbacks because they are going to use their legs. Mariota himself went for 55 last week, 49 yards the week before, and everybody knows Jaden Daniels, arguably even up there with Lamar Jackson, could be the best scrambling quarterback in the NFL.
Right. And like I said, and that's where I feel pretty comfortable, no matter which quarterback plays, that Flores is going to have a good game plan. I mean, we played this type of quarterback multiple times this year.
What's going on?
I feel like we're going to have a good plan there. But yeah, I mean, if Daniels does come back, I mean, that isn't – it's containing him, making the beat with his arm, which obviously was a reason why he was a number 2 overall pick. The scrambling ability. I mean, I think you and I both said it watching him. I felt like he threw the best ball out of all the quarterbacks in that draft class. It was just
actually deep ball
touch. Exactly. He was just a polished passer, but I mean, that'll happen when you've played college football for 4 to 5 years. But yeah, I mean that's kind of key one. And then of course, like when they're getting healthier, they got McLaurin back last week. Debo Samuel's still there. Zach Ertz has kind of been breaking out the last couple weeks as well. We know he's been in the league for a long time, solid veteran there. So, but yeah, I mean, just keep him in the pocket. Make him beat you with their arm, which obviously, if it's Mariota, a lot easier to do than if it's Jaden Daniels. But that offense, I mean, last week went up against a damn good defense in Denver, and they had the game won. They had a play there, just the ball got batted down. So I mean, no matter what, it's going to be tough to play this offense. But I trust Flores have a good plan, and this defense has been on fire the last couple weeks as well.
Especially a young guy. Another guy. I need to stop doing this, but another guy, a lot of fans, already counted as a bust, and that's Dallas Turner, who's playing great football. I mean, he's probably been one of the better pass rushers in the last 3 weeks. So yeah, get him in there, have him contain. He has the speed to do it. Anyways, trade Jettis to Tennessee for first pick.
Why are we talking about trading Justin Jefferson? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too early for that for me. Run versus bad defense. So obviously, who was it? Mentioned it earlier.
Got it.
I think it was. Oh, you did. Get Jets involved after establishing run. This is another game. Definitely establish run. We're always establishing a run. That's the best thing I feel like Kevin O'Connell can do to help a young quarterback. And I know he has been trying these last few weeks. And it's mostly been going kind of good. Sometimes he'll go away. There's some points, I know there's still the 4th and 1s and the 3rd and 2s that he still probably should just run the ball. So we do want to see more of that. But I mentioned this earlier that the Commanders have a lot of the 6 most rushing yards in the NFL on top of that. So this is a good matchup on top of just continuing that balance in this game and helping the balance for your offense to get moving, as well as, that balance to get your quarterback comfortable starting that. Cause that's the number one thing is in this game, in my opinion. And I think Casey's opinion is you need to make JJ McCarthy come in this game and feel confidence. And that's the number one thing. And I think it all starts with that run balance.
Well, I mean, then when it just comes to the pass rush, running off balance is the pass rush. It's just, it's classic football, run to throw, right? So just put him in. That's how you're going to get him in the best situations. And that does bring us right into number 2, and that is protect JJ McCarthy when he does need to pass. Something this offensive line throughout the entire season has not done nearly well enough. Hopefully end up getting Darrisaw and Donovan Jackson back, have that full offensive line together again, which doesn't work great. But that is key number 1 in the drop back passing game. When you do get there, you got to keep JJ McCarthy comfortable. Because look, this defense, as we said, susceptible to the pass, so they can get after it. But he's going to need time in the pocket to survey the field. And hopefully now he's not thinking about the mechanics so damn much, and it's just where do we need to go with the ball, breaking down the play. Hopefully we see a little bit more just free-flowing offense from McCarthy here. But the one thing that's just going to keep him upright and confident is just not getting hit so much. And that just comes down to this offensive line needing to have their best game of the year against a defense that is not good against the pass.
Right.
With aging veterans who are their best pass rushers.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, there's not much more. I mean, we all know this. And again, it just continues to go back to the confidence of JJ McCarthy in making him comfortable and all those things. That Green Bay game, I saw his confidence go away for sure. But it was also probably one of the biggest pass rushing games in the NFL this season. Let JJ make up school. Yeah, that's what dude, whatever it takes.
Just the old days where you like grab the football and it's like just draw. You're gonna go here and then you're gonna go that way.
Yep. Pass. What's the Statue of Liberty? The Statue of Liberty. Just all those kind of flea flicker. All that good stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Be careful with some of that stuff. I don't know if I want to see some flea flickers and things like that. But hey, maybe that's what JJ McCarthy thrives. Going into number 1, and we've kind of mentioned it throughout this whole show, and that is JJ McCarthy's play. JJ McCarthy play his game versus the worst pass defense in the NFL. This is just clearing JJ McCarthy's mind. Ultimately, again, I could have just put here, even though we've said it every single slide, is JJ McCarthy needs to be comfortable, confident. Let him go play his game. Kevin O'Connell has mentioned it. Hopefully it holds true. Even if it does, it's not like it doesn't worry me that it might be hard for him to just even go back to where he was, but even where he went earlier in the season, and you're against the worst pass defense in the NFL. So this is a game where JJ McCarthy, even if he misses some throws, all that stuff, should have an opportunity to see how he played in the Lions game. And Casey mentioned, I just want the Lions JJ McCarthy at this point, which AKA means he threw a couple bad balls, threw an intercept. I don't forget if he threw 1 or 2 interceptions in that one.
Probably, I think he's thrown 2 in pretty much every game so far.
And pretty much. So that means he might make mistakes. He might do all those things, but ultimately, even with all that happening, he did enough to win that game. I do think if JJ McCarthy even plays like that, obviously I'm hoping it's not so many, hopefully he'll make some good decisions there. But this is one that he should be confident in, and he should, he should have one of the better games that we've seen so far out of him, as long as that confidence is there.
Absolutely. Before we move on to predictions, though, because my first prediction does involve JJ McCarthy. We have 16 people in here on YouTube and only 8 likes. So hit that like button. If you don't like what we're saying and you don't want to hit the like button, that's fine. Thank you for watching anyway. But anyway,
actually, if you hate what you're saying, please hit the like button anyways. That's all right.
Do whatever. Do what you want to do. We're not here to
I'll still take a like if you want to be nice. We can't all get along. Even there's half of my guys in here don't agree with me, but they're still my guys. I would still like your video, No, but appreciate you all for being in here. Always do. Whether we agree or not, at the end of the day, obviously,
this is a tough ass year. Like, this fucking sucks. Like, I think we can all say that this sucks. Like, it sucks that we have to be talking about this. Sucks we have to be arguing about the future of this team and the quarterback position when there's still 5 weeks to go. But it's the reality of the world, reality of the NFL, and here we are. We'll get through it. But anyway, I guess bold predictions, starting with JJ McCarthy. No turnovers this game. I know we're talking about it. He's had 2 interceptions in pretty much every game he started, a couple fumbles, that type of stuff. I don't care. Mind clear. He's going to come out and play free, not turning the ball over 1 time this game.
Let's go. And we talked about the
first drive. I know it, but hey, it is what it is. We
got a confident JJ McCarthy, not making throwing turnovers. We've got a bad pass defense, and we still have the Wolves. So
and the Wild.
The
Wild. We have the Wall of St. Paul. I mean,
the Wall of St. Paul. Yeah, come on.
There's no cooler nickname than that, by the way. That is a coolest nickname in the world.
Wall of St. Paul. Yeah, dude. And we're gonna have extra time, so maybe we can. We'll tap into some other sports. Yeah, let's do it.
It's a big night. They're both playing tonight.
Yeah. Where was it going? Oh, I forgot my whole spiel. Bad defense. Make a good player happy. Justin Jefferson. If we got a confident McCarthy, Justin Jefferson is going to go for over 100 yards and a touchdown in this one. That should never ever in the existence of football history be a bold prediction, is Justin Jefferson going over 100, but this is where we're at, and that is my prediction. That and a touchdown.
Right. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball.
Still not getting 100.
Every week I came on here and said Dallas Turner was finally going to get his 2-sack game, and of course the 1 week we don't do a show on Thursday, he finally gets that 2-sack game. So you know what? I know what I said on Bleacher Report this morning, but I'm going to take that back. I'm going to double it. 4 sacks this game for Dallas.
Whoa.
4. That's a total bold call with no substance behind it.
Yeah.
But 3 isn't that big of a jump, so I'm going 4 sacks this game against Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota. I don't care who's playing.
That is wild. If he has a 4-sack game,
it's not happening.
It is going to blow up. It's going to blow up. But no, obviously, I like it. This is like, we're at a spot where seeing the most exciting thing about every game at this point is seeing Dallas Turner continue to produce the way he has been. So I think all of us will be happy if he comes in this one and even leaves with 1 sack. But obviously, if he leaves with 4, then I think all of us are more than excited. And then we definitely have to come back and find the receipts on the people who already wanted him to be a bust. Anyways. You brought a guy that you've talked about a lot, and this is, I think it was Big Raylan who mentioned this earlier. Again, I'm going to predict it every week until it happens. Win the turnover battle. Obviously, Casey mentioned JJ McCarthy without any turnovers. If he has no turnovers from himself, that's a great start, but our defense needs something. And part of it is unlucky. We can't have I don't care. We can't get a ball to bounce in our direction to save our life. Obviously, we got one of Dallas Turner's strip sacks, but the other one we should have gotten as well. We have batted balls that go in the air between 3 people, and it just perfectly fits right between them. Can't get it as well. And then on the other side of the ball, we'll have a random bat and it falls right into the other player's hands type of thing. So it's just unlucky there. But on top of that, I just think it's just, I don't know. The Vikings defense has not been good at creating turnovers. And I do want to see that. And I do think the Vikings do that. They win the turnover battle in this one. And we finally get our Gink 6 in this one. And even last week, there's a couple times where he was close to it too. We're going to get one soon.
And it's funny because I just go back. Remember that training camp video last year where Darnold threw the Gink 6 to him, and he's just like hands on his knees, like in disgust. He remembered that this last game because remember he kind of double clutched around him, like his entire like Vikings career flashed in front of his eyes when he was about to make that throw.
We all saw it.
Not falling for that again.
Yeah, that's the Vikings fans quarterback right there. Falters against his old team. That's exactly what we want.
But anyway, that was funny. But anyway, so the big question: do the Vikings get back on the winning track? So obviously, I understand draft positioning. A lot of people are hoping we just lose the rest of the games and yet see growth. I guess I don't know. I do think that we got to JJ McCarthy has to get his first win at home, so that he can do the Royer McElroy walking down the tunnel like you, because I think that'd be hilarious. It's tough. I mean, it obviously gets a lot tougher with Jaden Daniels instead of Marcus Mariota, but.
Right.
So I'm going to alter my score prediction a little bit, knowing that I honestly did not think that Daniels would make it back.
Me neither.
Still doesn't matter. I'm still going. We put up 24. I'm going to go 24-21. We'll say for Darren's sake, we'll say Will Reichard walks it off with probably not quite 70. We'll go like 62 yarder.
Let's go. Yeah, and that's a good point because I do think I don't know. This is it's hopeful. It's wishful for sure. This is a bad defense. I think whether JJ McCarthy plays good or not. I think this offense will at least score some touchdowns, but I'm going to say JJ McCarthy does all right. I'm going to stay baseline with JJ McCarthy. I'm not going to act like he's going to light the world on fire, and I'm not going to act like he's the Packer version of JJ McCarthy. But I do have the Vikings with 30 points in this one, bounce back offensively overall, and then I'm going to go with, I said 21 without Jaden Daniels. With Jaden Daniels, I'm still going to give us a touchdown, 30-24 Vikings in this one.
All right. So something, I guess, before we move on to anything else we have here, do you remember our bets we did preseason or before the season
Yes.
started?
Oh, God. I'm getting
we're wiping those clean, right?
No, we're not wiping those clean. What do you mean? No, I won't do that. I won't do that.
Wasn't there a caveat with injury or something like that? I don't remember. Should we pull those up just for fun?
I don't know.
Or do we want to look at how high?
How bad it is? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I know I'm on the wrong side of most of it, so we can bring that. I want to bring this up though. Like overall, obviously, there's some. I've been looking at some of these picks. I'm like pick 8 would be just fucking sick. Like I think pick 8. I think you'd have a decent chance at least getting Love and maybe Caleb Downs drops to you or something like that. Oh God. But I don't care. Every Viking fan, you really, really should hope that JJ McCarthy can see progression. Like I know maybe you just don't believe it's possible at this point, but you should see that. And my number one goal this season, obviously a high draft pick would help us. But my number one goal this season is to hope that JJ McCarthy can turn things around and we can still leave this season feeling like, oh God,
this is okay.
We feel like we can leave this season feeling like JJ McCarthy has a chance to be a franchise quarterback. I feel like that should be the number one goal, regardless of pick or whatever. And that's the thing. If not, then we probably have a better pick. So it's kind of a win-win in my opinion.
Yeah, but anyway,
Love would be sick. Even though he has really small legs and really small calves.
Yeah, it's all right though. It's all right. But this is the numbers that we had. So JJ McCarthy, we had 249.5 rushing yards. You said over. I said under
right there.
Huh?
He might not be like way off that.
Yeah. Passing yards, basically 3,500. I had the under. Looks like I'll probably win on that. Touchdowns, we had 24.5 as the line. You took the over, I took the under. Now, this one, I feel like we may have gotten flipped. 10.5 interceptions. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I have the over on that. You have the under. So far, technically, you haven't lost yet.
Completion percentage is definitely lower.
Keeps it under there. And this one's the one that will, wow.
So, I don't know. I would say I feel like we probably did say something about injury though, because why wouldn't?
Oh, now you're looking at all this like, oh, that's a lot of beer. Okay, yeah, I think we got to back off on that.
But I mean, we had to have said something about injury because most of the time you would make that up. But I would say even if injuries was a part of this, I would say the completion percentage, that definitely doesn't. Injuries don't matter there.
Yeah. Hey, look, here's me right here.
Everything
guessing that Kevin O'Connell would run the football more this year, picking run as the first play of the year, and it was a run. So I'll take my money.
Was it? Did you look it up?
I mean, I just remember it was very just kind of vanilla, like run up the gut, little screen pass. I think it was like run up the gut.
First play of the season, runner pass. God, what was I thinking? That was ballsy by me.
I mean,
so put five next to that one.
What's that?
Put a 5 next to that one.
Next to what one?
The run one.
Was it money or was it beer? I can't remember.
It was $5 a piece. I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, rich man.
Injury.
You never know. He could go like 2 for 2 for the next 5 games. Is really up that completion percentage. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but either way. Yeah, that was. We'll see. We'll have to. Well, I mean, obviously, we'll revisit those at the end of the year as well.
And a first for Travion Henderson. Big railing.
You're trading Jefferson and a first rounder.
No, Addison, and a first for second round pick.
Travion Henderson. No,
buddy, bro, we can't be doing that. I like him, but he hasn't shown. He had 2 good games.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And I like Henderson, but hell no.
I mean, and Jordan Addison's worth a first round pick
easily. Obviously, I mean, if Justin Jefferson,
the Patriots probably jump all over that.
Yeah, if Addison, he hasn't been as great lately, but Justin Jefferson isn't either. So it's just like, I don't know. That's big random. Come on now, come on. I know you want a running back, but it's already crazy to draft a running back in the top 10, and even I'm allowing it if it's for love. So, anyway, so obviously Vikings. JJ McCarthy, future Hall of Famer, going to bounce back and prove everybody wrong for the 3rd time, or 2nd time, whatever it is. Actually, I don't know if that's true or not, but hopefully we see that. In my opinion, I hope to see that. I still want to hope that JJ McCarthy turns into the guy that we want. I think a lot will be telling to me, depending on how he plays in this game, I think, as far as where that can be, because things weren't looking great. But at the end of the day, like you should be hopeful. I don't know. I do think that, in my opinion, if he doesn't work out, you're not firing your coaches. You're probably going these next 2 years. Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi, whether he's here or not, are going to try to be competitive. So if he doesn't work out, then you're going to trade for somebody or bring in a veteran, and you're going to try your best to win, probably. And it's probably but your best hope is still that JJ McCarthy ends up working out for you.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, obviously time will tell on that. But yeah, my biggest thing, like I said, this whole week, my biggest takeaway, the right things have been said, but the time for talking is over at this point. I mean, time for talking was done months ago, but now you just have to put it on the field and put everything together. And
that's bad defense.
Really does come down to O'Connell putting him in good spots and McCarthy just going out there, not thinking about the mechanics, and just play free, fast football. Just have fun again. That's what this game's all about for them, right? Just go and have some fun.
Right.
You literally have one of the best receivers in football to throw the ball to. Just make something happen.
Yes.
And again, that's coaching, that's him, that's offensive line, it's everything. And defense and kicker have been playing winning caliber football. Special teams in general, not so much. But
Miles Price was third for Pro Bowl at his position.
Yeah. But either way, like the defense and the kicking game has kept you competitive for as long as they could these last couple weeks. The offense needs to pull their weight. So that's really what this week is about to me. And against this defense, if you can't do it, then you can really start scratching your head. I don't know. But it is what it is. We'll see.
Anyways, obviously, that's pretty much what we got for the Vikings. We're going to be on here for 5 more minutes. Let's hit up on the other Minnesota team, starting with the Twins. Obviously that still sucks, though. I know the buzzkill. One thing that was interesting is I don't know tons. I don't pay enough attention because that team is just such a massive buzzkill to me, because of the poll ads. But but I know everybody's really disappointed in the GM we ultimately hired. But man, there's so many people out there that act like he's like the coolest fucking guy in the world, and all his interviews and stuff is just like, this guy's just cool as shit. I haven't really been paying attention, but that's what I've been hearing from people.
He's playing with house money, right? Comes into this team. If they suck, yeah, you were supposed to suck. If they do well, it looks good for him. But like the scary part is, like, basically the reports came out that
Pablo,
the team is unclear of the direction they're taking. You got the winter meetings coming up. That's where things happen. They're unclear what they want to do, and ownership is pushing to trade either Pablo or Joe Ryan or
both. People are saying
in order to basically, for them, it's just to get out of debt. Like, nothing to do with the game. It's literally their personal debt, just trying to cut some costs. Like, it's ridiculous. And of course, and that's why the people that want to bitch so bad about the Wilfs, you either haven't been around Minnesota long enough, or you don't know anything about any of this, because like the Pohlads and Glenn Taylor,
right,
two teams that put up with that shit ownership for years, and you want to come out here and tell me the Wilds are okay with being mediocre? Like,
two-toned.
I'm sorry for the harsh language, but fuck off with that shit. Like, no chance. I hate people saying the Wilfs are bad owners. I just don't understand it whatsoever.
I don't know. It's just it's so easy when a team's not doing good to just like fire everybody. But yeah, the Twins, the Polacks, the Twins, obviously.
This we agree with. They would be bottom of that division.
The Twins are. I can't even care about baseball because they'll just irritate me.
Yeah, the one thing though with all these trades, they have a ton of young prospects. They have Walker Jenkins down there. They got a ton of talent. But like, that's the thing. It's almost like they're just holding on to Shelton long enough, just like, hey, get us through some of these doldrums, and then when these guys start to show they have something, we'll bring another manager that hopefully the Pohlads are out of debt by that time, but bring another manager that can get the best skills out of these players. But for now, yeah, it's disastrous. I mean, this could be the Vikings if you want. Like, completely sell, completely tank, completely get rid of everything.
Just be fucked for 10 years.
So that you literally have zero hope going into the future. But
yes. No, I don't want that. After 2 years, hey, after these next 2 years, maybe blow it all up if things don't look good at all. But until then, you don't get many chances to like throw all your money at stuff. And I think that we need to do that. What up, Two-Tone, my guy? Gary is back. What up, dude?
The Twins are in bad shape. Then you got the Wolves, who obviously 2 straight Western Conference Finals. I would say there is a bit of fraud to the Wolves this year. I mean, can't beat the winning teams.
Well, recently,
I guess they were doing really good against bad teams last night, or the other night. Obviously, had a tough one against New Orleans. Still found a way to win that game, but it's a little bit off. I mean, they're missing something. They need a point guard, legit. But I know people are talking about if they want to get a high level player, they're probably gonna have to trade McDaniels, which I don't love.
No, I think you could at this point. I think you could get away with trading Randall and other pieces than McDaniels.
Mm-hmm. We can't. I know but there are people that think that because I know we're seeing a little bit of that. I mean, early on the season, we saw some offensive surge from Jaden McDaniels, but there are people who are wondering, like, is this his cap? Is this as good as he'll ever be on offense? And you're just kind of keeping around for a defensive player, where someone would take that to maybe get a Giannis, which would be interesting. But I don't know. I'm not in the business of trading Jaden McDaniels.
No,
but
he's elite defender. I don't know. I haven't looked, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's definitely up there and leading the NBA in 3-point percentage. And he's only 25 years old, 24 years old.
Yeah.
He's young. So his offense could be better. I don't want to trade Jaden McDaniels. And I do think that your contract and the way Randall's been playing, that's a big trade piece right now. I think you could do a lot with that. Not Giannis. If you want Giannis, yeah, it's going to cost a lot. The thing with that is, obviously, Giannis would be great, but I don't love the fit with Giannis and Anthony Edwards because you got 2 ball-dominant players and you still don't have a fucking point guard.
Yeah, and that's going to be the tough part when you do get a point guard. Like, one of these guys you're getting, is it going to be the same type of issues where you have 2 ball-dominant guys like that?
Yeah, but even like LaMelo and Ja, like, obviously they can be like that, but they also get 10 assists a game.
Wouldn't it be something to get LaMelo? When people were talking, who should you draft Ant or draft LaMelo 5 years later?
Which I would take LaMelo if you promise. You can't promise me this. If you promise me he couldn't get hurt, that's the thing. Like, we're gonna trade something for LaMelo, and you wouldn't need to trade McDaniels for LaMelo, because I think he's a good player, but he gets hurt so often that'd be kind of tough right there.
Yeah.
So I would say
again, the Wolves are finding ways to win. Good record. They just have to find a way to just be more. I mean, because that's the thing with the Wolves. Like, there's never a game of them that I watch where I just don't get frustrated at some point. They're one of those teams. They always have, like, they're always one of those teams just gets you frustrated, but then at the end of the day, they find a way to win. Ant pulls off some freaking late game heroics because that's just what he does. And that's the one thing. Like, people get frustrated with just how often he shoots the ball. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things. And maybe it's something where McCarthy might need to have a sit down with Edwards, where he's like, hey, just keep playing your game, keep slinging it till it works for you. Because Edwards does that. He misses a ton of shots, but at the end of the day, when he needs to make the big one, for the most part, he does.
Well, some of it, so far, and because so this is me giving real criticism to Anthony Edwards, which obviously I love Anthony Edwards. Like, he is a gift to Minnesota sports. He's like the one, well, Justin Jefferson, but as far as like a superstar that has so much, like a quarterback level type of impact on a team, he's like that player where you're waiting for him to start, who has even, we'll get into the Wild, but even Wallstedt, where you're just like, even though he's playing so good, as in the back of my head, it's like, oh, he's just going to end up having like a 4-stretch game where he just sucks or something. Anthony Edwards is not that, but my criticism with Anthony Edwards, he hits a lot of daggers, like when there's like a minute left or whatever, but I have not seen a lot of game winners out of him. As far as like when there's 1 second on the clock and he has to take a game-winning shot, he misses them.
Yeah,
a high amount of times.
And you had the free throws against Phoenix. You can't missing both of those when it's a tight game like that.
Did you see did you see like the whole free throw thing?
Mm-mm.
Let me circle back to that in a second here. Because it's actually kind of wild. So Anthony Edwards, that's my criticism on here. But with what Casey said, that's one interesting thing that I was thinking about. I don't know if it's true. This is just a random theory that I had, is if Anthony Edwards, the good thing about them, just let him continue taking those shots. And I'm like, throughout time, he's 23 years old, 23 years old, 24 now. Yeah. He's 24. Yeah, for real. He's 24. Yeah. Drew Holiday would be interesting, but he's 24 years old and he has lots of time to growth. Like, if you let him take every game winning shot all the way till he's like 28 years old, eventually he's going to be very comfortable at taking those type of shots. And that's one thing a lot of people like won't let someone gain comfort in those situations. But I think the Timberwolves are doing with Anthony Edwards. So I kind of do expect Anthony Edwards to continue just becoming more and more clutch as he grows. And that's kind of just a random theory that I have. And also, again, some hope that I have when it comes to Anthony Edwards. Anyways, the free throw thing. So Mark Cuban was on a podcast, and I don't know if anyone else seen this, but Mark Cuban was on a podcast and like just straight up brought up like Anthony Edwards. If you watch his free throws, every time he takes a free throw, he takes a step over the line, which is illegal. And he's like, every single time, go watch him every single time. And he's like, I'm sorry, Anthony Edwards. I think you're going to be a great player, but I have to call it out. And now the refs know. And Anthony Edwards had to change up his completely free throws this season because of that, because of Mark Cuban. And he was I found out because he was on a interview, or he did an interview recently talking about it. And he's like, there's some like billionaire or whatever. And someone's like, oh, Mark Cuban. And he's like, Mark Cuban pretty much called out my free throws. So I had to completely change everything. And Mark Cuban literally, and then I went back and found that podcast or whatever. And Mark Cuban did say that and knew that the NBA would go after, because he did that with Shaq. He said he did the same thing with Shaq back in the day. And then the rest went after Shaq in the same way.
Oh, did you know Shaq's a DJ?
Yeah.
DJ Diesel, and he's like, I guess he's gonna be in Minnesota at some point.
Yeah. I knew that he was a DJ, and then I think I did know that he actually was like touring as a DJ.
Yeah, he's touring now. That's kind of wild. Yeah. What's going on, Lone Wolf? Vikings are so bad. Yeah. Hopefully we can bounce back. I don't even know what to say. But I guess so the Wolves obviously still in it. I mean, 2 straight Western Conference Finals. The team is there. We've got to be more consistent.
And you're right with the beat the Celtics and the Spurs, who are really good. Celtics still don't have Jason Tatum. Spurs didn't have Wemby in that game. So they're still on my shit list a little bit after a couple meltdowns that they had before then, because I wanted to see the stars on the team. So we'll see on that. But hopefully we see some more consistency out of that Wolves team. Wild, though.
You got to give him some love. And look, this is like the first year that I've actually like really watched hockey regular season. I watched the playoffs because you have to when a Minnesota team makes the playoffs. Yeah. We don't get it all that often. But this is like the first year I've watched. And it's like hockey is one of those sports. I think the reason I didn't like it so much is because the scores aren't big. But like it's full. It's end-to-end excitement. And like you said, like, and again, the Wall of St. Paul, one of the coolest nicknames ever. Didn't give him to himself, which probably helps. But like you said, I mean, you're waiting for that downturn. But I do feel like the stats are going to take a dip. Because right now he's playing about a third of the game, as it looks like. Yeah. And with how good he's playing, I do feel like they might go to like an every other night thing between him and Gus. So I do think you'll see those stats drop a little bit. I mean, you're not shutting people out every night, but hopefully. Two really good goalies, and I mean, obviously, like the injury issues are still hurting this team now, but they're finding a way to win through those injuries. But I don't know, man, it's exciting. Like, and for them, it's kind of the same thing as the Vikes. Make it through the first round of the playoffs, and we'll start talking about if you're legit or not. But like, I don't know. This team's fun. It's and I mean, it sounds like they're still looking. I mean, they're looking for more offense, because that is something I have noticed. And again, not a big hockey guy, but it's easy to notice that I feel like we do get outshot most games that I watch fully. But I don't know. Still a ton of fun. They're having a great year, especially since November. So let's see if they can keep it rolling. But
you still got Kaprizov's been healthy, and obviously, and I wanted to. Yeah, him and Boldy, it's kind of like them on offense, and you're not getting enough elsewhere there. Defense looking really good, and then, like you said, Wallstedt. And I don't know, like, hopefully Wallstedt doesn't do that. Like, hopefully, we've seen it so many times where you get super excited about a player, and then they fall off. The Royce Lewises, the Buxtons, if you want to go to the Twins specifically. But you do see those kinds of things, and hopefully that doesn't happen with Wallstedt. Obviously, it's hard to keep up. Like, he has 3 or 4 shutouts in the last 6 games or something crazy like that. So it's hard to expect that out of him, but hopefully he just continues to be really that good. Obviously, that's what's cool about hockey, I guess, is like if your goalie doesn't allow any goals, it's impossible to lose. So that's like one cool thing. So it's cool to see him there. Another thing is, one thing I've always, as soon as we drafted him, even though he was kind of a highly touted prospect, but for me was, my last name's Gellerstedt, so my last name ends with Stedt, and I've maybe ran into a couple other Gellerstedts in like my town or whatever. It's not a very common name, obviously, but I haven't really seen someone else's last name and in Stedt. So when I saw that Wallstedt, I was on board right away. So Team Wallstedt, Team Wallstedt. And
when they become available, I'm getting that Wall of St. Paul t-shirt. I've seen some mock-ups of them. I don't know if anything's legit or not, but there'll be a thing soon, and I am getting one because, again,
Wall of St. Paul,
coolest nickname I have heard in a long time.
Yeah, dude, it is sick. It is sick.
But all right, anything else on a sports front tonight before we sign off?
Just, I don't know. We're on this, like, it's like a carousel of ups and downs from Minnesota sports, just like it always is. As soon as you're like, at least we got this team, it comes like the last thing I thought was the Wild was going to be the team that we're going to be like, oh, this is our best chance to win a championship. But that is the case now. All it takes is a good goalie. And, it was the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves kind of like to do this in regular season and have stepped up in playoffs, which is really nice. But we'll see there. And then obviously, I think this season, in my opinion, for the Vikings is, and probably most opinions, is probably over as far as trying to make playoffs or anything like that. Again, in my opinion, I do think you're still hoping to see the progression of the JJ McCarthy, and hoping that you leave this season feeling like, I think he has a chance to be the franchise quarterback, whether you still bring someone in or not. I do think this game, as well as the next 2 games after this, when you're playing against 3 of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, will be really, really, really telling where everything is at, especially after Kevin O'Connell told JJ McCarthy just to go play your game. Because if he tells JJ McCarthy just to go play his game and he still sucks against bad pass defenses, I think we'll probably continue having more conversations of the future there. But
yeah, absolutely. But again, time for talking's done. Go put it on the field. Show us what we made of. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. Enjoy an exciting weekend of football. See you guys on Monday, breaking down this W for your Minnesota Vikings. See you guys then.
SKOL Vikes.